Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Courtside Investor podcast. I'm your host, the Card Boss, and today we're going to do a video that I've been meaning to do for quite a fair bit. And if you guys follow my Instagram, it's basically about this card here, my 1998 Upper Deck game jersey Michael Jordan autograph card, hand numbered to 23, BGS 9.5 Gem Mint. Whole lot of mouthful here. Awesome card. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys recognize this card. And as per the title of this video, I literally threw the entire kitchen sink to bring this card home. And why am I talking about this card now? You guys have probably, seen this card before, and it's because the card was sold on the March Goldin Elite auction. We're now already sitting in June. Okay, so it's been slightly more than 2 months. I think it was roughly about a 9-week process for me to acquire this card. And in this video, I'm going to explain the entire journey, okay, from start to finish. Okay, so let's talk a bit about this card first. 1998, okay, Upper Deck produced game-worn jersey cards. This is not the first year of game-worn jerseys. The first year was in 1997 for Michael Jordan, the All-Star jersey, the white color patch or the white color jersey. You could see that this 1998 is the first year in the Chicago Bulls uniform. So you get this plain red jersey. If you probably get the jerseys this year, that maybe around now, you probably feel it's just a normal jersey, right? All about the patches, 3-color patch stitches and stuff like that. Those that you see exquisite. So this looked ordinary, but back then in 1998, this was pretty awesome stuff, to get it packed full. So this one here, number 23, some people may not know that there are actually 6 variations to this autograph. Okay, so it's not just this one, and it's spread out across 6 different kinds of products. I don't know what the pack all is, but it's a tough pull. And this is number 6 to 23, and BGS 9.5. I believe this is a pop 3. Oh no, pop 6, I think. Okay, and a recent PSA 10 of the exact same variation just recently sold on the Finex Collect Premier, and that closed for about 210K, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so this would be just 9.5. That PSA 10 was a pop 1, right? So in conclusion, awesome card. More than 106-digit card. My very first 6-digit basketball card. Okay, and as I mentioned, I got this from the Goldin Elite auction, and it took 2 months for me to acquire this card. Now, there are many reasons behind this. First of all, it's $100,000 card. Okay, it closed on Goldin Elite for $134,000. I don't have $134,000 cash. Okay, so this was obviously engineered using a card funding program. And I talked about card funding before in a previous video where I used Wolf Sports Card to acquire a 2003 exquisite LeBron James rookie patch auto, BGS 9.5 as well, in December last year. Okay, and I used another round of card funding, but this time I went with Fund Your Cards. Okay, now there was some reasons behind why I chose to run with Fund Your Cards this time around, but basically I worked with Fund Your Cards and to try the service, and it works a bit slightly different with Wharf, whereby whatever cards you send to consignment for Wharf, it gets listed on Finance Collect based on consignment rates, and then if there's any cash on top, you pay an extra 2%. Okay, that's how Wolf works. But for Fund Your Cards, basically the fee that gets on top to fund your card is additional 10% on top. So if this card closed, after buyer's premium and insurance for 134, 135K, it's additional 13.5K on the top. So all in all, this purchase price for this card was $150,000. Big card for me. Okay. Now, in a nutshell, to bring this card together, it took 3 components, okay? But each of these components had a backstory to it. Now, the first and foremost was the 2003 Exquisite that I mentioned previously. So this went part of the deal. The second component was actually a 2003 Exquisite Michael Jordan not rookie patch, Exquisite autograph patch, okay? Which also came as the same horizontal set, number 200. That's BGS 9.5 as well. Some of you may recognize this card, okay? And that's another story which I'm going to cover. And finally, the smaller component, which is a Luka Flawless RPA number 225 PSA 9. Okay, so these three cards make up the entire deal. Now, of course, I did not actually, traded these three cards in for that particular Jordan, but of course, these three cards went to raise amount of capital in order to pay for the Jordan. Okay, so let's talk a bit about LeBron first. Now, in the previous video that I did find your cards, I sent you a bunch of cards here, including Anthony Edwards Flawless 1-of-1. So that card closed for about $53,000, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, end of the day. So I put a number of cards. It's a little bit of cash on top, okay, to acquire the LeBron. And this LeBron went on the Fanatics weekly auction that sold for about 50 plus K as well. So I kind of break even on this LeBron. So it's kind of like a 1-for-1, okay, swap in a sense. When it came to the Jordan, okay, I did a video on the Jordan last year. Okay, I threw a bunch of cards. I think I talked about this acquiring the Jordan from Sean Price. Okay, it's all card trade. Okay, bunch of 90s inserts. I believe there was a Kobe Noise Boys. There was a Luca flawless autograph patch. A bunch of Jordans as well, linchpins, and a whole lot of cards. All card trade, which were value about like 70 odd thousand. And I subsequently sold this Jordan on the Fanatics monthly Premier auction in March, and I got 80K roughly in total. So this is a 80K there, 50K there, plus this particular Luca RPA, for about 12, no, 10 or 12K, and a little bit of cash on the top to make up the grand total. So that essentially huge deal to bring this thing in. But it may seem as just three cards and a little bit of cash, but in order for me to acquire the Jordan, the Exquisite, and the LeBron Exquisite, I had to give so many cards on top. So the question is it well worth the money? Okay, now you got to look at this card. Now, although this card is well known and iconic in its own right, some people may feel as though, look, it's another Jordan jersey autograph card. No doubt this is first Chicago Bulls uniform, but there are a lot of nicer looking cards, and I do definitely agree with you. Now, if I was going for the aesthetic, I definitely would feel that getting limited logos, for example, you get a nice looking patch for a Jordan autograph. But if you want to enjoy a piece of history, this definitely has a cooler story behind it. Okay, the aesthetics is given. Okay, even though it's just a very simple red jersey, it has a nice photo, a complete photo of Jordan. Okay, nice art design on a white background, and a full clean blue autograph of Michael Jordan, hand number to 23, 6 out of 23 for my copy here. So all in all, I acquired this card for the history, and I always believe that iconic cards will carry a longer term value. So this is one of those cards that, when I bring it in, it's not with the intention to flip immediately, unless of course, there is something changes and the price for this, I get some unbelievable offer. Now, I mean, unbelievable doesn't mean it needs to be like, 2x or whatever. It could be just something that's with a significant amount of percentage markup. And I wouldn't do it for a 10% markup, for example, something definitely greater than that, because I do respect the history of the card. I do respect how iconic the card is, and that's why I put so much of my capital into this card. Now, from a business perspective, it's when I was just contemplating about this over the weekend, it's not really something smart to do. You probably be thinking about that right now, right? So tie up so much capital on one particular card, it can be actually detrimental to a business, whereby business can continue to generate, easily 5 to 7% monthly return. So can this Jordan do the same on 5 to 7% growth in, consistently, which means they grow about, let's say, 40% or 50% on an annual basis? Unlikely. Truly unlikely, right? If this card actually goes up between 10 to 12% on the per annum basis, I think that's considered pretty awesome. But one thing good about this card is it's actually a foundation pillar for your collection. So, which means that if any time that you would need a sudden burst of capital, whether is it for your business or for any live event or whatever, this Jordan is always good to go. And you can't say the same for a lot of cards that you need to actually liquidate in a hurry. So even if you had a good, let's say a 2022 Luca Flawless patch auto, PSA 10, market value, just hypothetically, let's say it's $10,000 at the moment, you can't say for sure that, at a point in time that you really want it, you want to move it, there will be a very steady number of buyers who's willing to pay a good price for it. And maybe everybody will try and come in, 70% of comps or 80% of comps, depending on what the comps price is at the point in time. Whether is he playing well, whether is he injured, and things like that. But for this card, steady on its value, definitely, potential to increase over time, maybe not at the rate that you want to, but it's a foundational piece that you want to hold to anchor down your total portfolio value. Okay. And if things change, I've decided to feel that I need to ramp up my business in a big speed. I need to give it a big injection of capital to give it a quick boost, because I do see the market growing, and I want to go and earn that, between, let's say, 5 to 7, and it's a chance to earn between 9 to 12, for example. Definitely I will make the decision to move this card and to just fund that particular strategy. So that's basically it, right? So all in all, it was again quite an amazing journey to acquire this card. It's one of the toughest things to pull together. I want to thank Mark from Find Your Cards for his patience to work with me to try to get this thing together. And whether I'll do this again down the line for another big card, 6-digit card, I'm actually not sure, right? I wanted to do it and make sure that I spend the money on a good iconic card such as this, but thinking again, maybe I wouldn't pull the trigger for a second one, for example. Okay, but no doubt I enjoy having this one. It's just something that I can just sit back and relax and think about the journey, think about the process of getting it, enjoy the card for what it is, and maybe we'll see what the future holds. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Do like, subscribe, follow this channel. Till next one. What's up?